This has to be by far the most stupid article that I have ever read on this channel up to date. Please contradict me in the comment section if I am wrong. A part of me likes to hope that this is how Japan trolls the United States. That they just wanted to hire some British actors because they were cheaper. They didn't want to work with Americans, so they were like, oh, well, we didn't want to offend the American people because you know how easily offended they are. So we're just bypassing all of that nonsense. Now, according to director Naoki Yoshida, he explained that the English version of the game will be voiced solely by actors using British English, as the developers worry that American English-speaking character would upset American players hoping for an authentic representation of medieval Europe. Even though the script is written in English, we made sure not to include any American accents. Yoshida said that we decided to do this to prevent Americans from playing the game and getting mad and seeing something like, I was looking forward to playing a game set in a fantasy medieval Europe, but why are they speaking American English? To prevent this, we made sure that all the dialogue was recorded in British English. Now, if you're an American and you're wondering what the hell is he talking about, he is talking about authentic representation. You see, this is a fresh concept coming out from the enlightened minds of the American academia. You had university professors slaving hard at figuring out how to remove racism from within the US society. And this is a fresh invention. Okay, it's like the inventors have invented, and this is very, very progressive, so progressive that you may not have heard about it. So what is authentic representation? Well, it means that if you have a fictional character on the screen, and I like if you have a woman, if you have a black character, well, he can only be voiced by a black actor. So they need to have a genetic department that does the 23andMe tests, verifies the genetics of the actor before allowing him to voice the character. If you have an LGBT character on the screen, so in a video game, a fictional make-believe, can only be voiced by another person that is part of the LGBT group. Because otherwise, it's not authentic representation. So it's yet another rule, another chain that stifles creativity. Because we know that there are many examples in the past where there was no authentic representation and it actually created amazing characters. Darth Vader, for example, is played by a white actor. I think he's Scottish. However, the voice is that of a black actor. Kratos from God of War 4 is voiced by Christopher Judge. I think that he does an amazing job and is far better than the voice that Kratos had in the previous 3 video games. Bart from The Simpsons is a young boy, but he is voiced by a woman. And it works. In fact, in a lot of animes, this actually happens. Young characters that are male are being voiced by adult women. So it blows the concept of authentic representation out of the water. Like, people do not care about it. The only people that care about it are the moral busybodies that want to control the creative process. Right? They are like, oh, your company is evil, it's racist, put me in charge, allow me to tell you how to do things. And of course, once the ideologue gets in power, he's not interested in making a entertaining product for the audience. He is interested in lecturing the audience, manipulating the audience, subverting the audience. That is the goal. And I think like this Japanese director is probably trolling a little bit when it comes to the US. I like to think that he realized that the British actors are cheaper. So in order not to get accused of racism or anything like that, like, why are you not working with the Americans? He said, oh, well, because the Americans are very easily offended. You see, the Americans, all of them have this culture of getting upset and offended. And when they bring together that culture, they create the most liberal free society on the face of the planet, capable of creating some of the most amazing comic books and art that we have ever seen, right? Because that's how it works. People who get offended very easily and stifle their own creative, artistic representation are capable of... Oh, wait, no, they're not, right? Go woke, go broke is a thing. In fact, if you apply this authentic representation concept, again, you wouldn't have Darth Vader, you wouldn't have Kratos, you wouldn't have Bart, and many others. This is just one of the things. My opinion about authentic representation is that it's just a tool to allow people who like getting mad to get mad easily. That's literally what it is. It is to allow people on Twitter to freak out at corporations, accuse them of various isms and phobias, so that those people can suggest that, oh, why don't you hire this person? Why don't you put this person in charge? And a lot of people don't believe me when I say that it stifles creativity. Because it does. I mean, there are examples of this. There was a movie that was supposed to come out a couple of years ago about a transgender woman and her struggles, and she was going to be played by Scarlett Johansson. But people on Twitter freaked out, saying that, well, Scarlett Johansson isn't a trans woman, so she has no right playing such a role. And because of that, the movie got canceled. Because the investors counted on Scarlett Johansson to put butts in seats. Like, people weren't really that interested in the story. They were more interested, oh, I want to go see a movie with Scarlett Johansson. So it goes to show, maybe it would have been a mind-blowing, successful film, but we will never know because it got canceled before it even got made. And then the whole concept of authenticity. You have the actor just reading from a script. Like, the actor doesn't have that much input, so who cares if he's authentic or not? I mean, the whole idea initially about authenticity was that if you're a rich person, like you're a billionaire, you can't imagine how it's like being poor and living in an impoverished neighborhood. So if someone is to make a story focusing on poor people, they should at least talk to someone that lived in an impoverished place to get some feedback. Right? And it kind of makes sense in a way, although it implies that the world is separated within factions and there's no such thing as human empathy. Like, you can't learn from other people, you just have to live yourself. Like, a doctor can't understand the suffering of a cancer patient unless the doctor has the cancer himself, which is a bogus concept. I completely disagree with it. This is not how human understanding works. But still, like in the case of writing, like, fine. And even in some situation, like, you should at least talk with the particular community you want to write about if you want to do a good job. Like, if you want to write a movie about the military, you should talk with people who have been in the military or get like some advice on how military people operate and blah, blah, blah. Because then it makes for a more interesting story. But this is not what we're talking about. It's going all the way into La La Land, and apparently even Japanese people are laughing about it. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, and if you enjoyed this video, consider clicking the subscribe button, and if you really enjoyed it and want some great buyer remorse, you can click that super thanks button, and I'll appreciate it. In the meantime, I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.